I've listened to Room for Squares by John Mayer for years.
And I listened to it once yesterday.
Welcome to Spin It. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Spin It, the record ranking podcast for people who would rather be listening to music. I'm James, and with me is Connor.
And I'm Connor.
Yes, you are. And this week, we're talking about Room for Squares by John Mayer. This is where we leave our streak of good keyboardists for a minute.
Wow, man. Starting off calling John Mayer not a good keyboardist.
I don't know if there's even a keyboard on this album that I can remember.
Doesn't mean he's not a good keyboardist.
Well, yeah, sure. I mean, it's true. Just in general, though, this isn't a keyboard-heavy album.
What is this a heavy album on?
It's a heavy album of guitar, for sure. That acoustic kind of singer-songwriter style. This is when John Mayer was in that era. We'll talk a little bit more about it as we progress through his career. But he doesn't always stay the way that he is on this album. He kind of evolves musically. Do you know a lot about John Mayer?
No. Can't say that I do.
Well, I know you know some of his songs. I actually think it's impossible that you don't. Absolutely. Absolutely you do. What if I said, Waiting on the World to Change?
Don't recognize the title.
You don't recognize Waiting on the World to Change?
Don't recognize the title doesn't mean I don't recognize the song.
You'd know it if you heard it. At least I think you would. Maybe I'm wrong. I just thought that was one of those inescapable songs that was just kind of everywhere.
Oh, I'm trying to look up his songs. I don't recognize this song, no.
No way. It's everywhere.
Is it?
Absolutely.
Like where?
All over.
Is this a new song?
It came out in 2006.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, I don't recognize this song.
Interesting. I guess I thought it was more around than it maybe was. Either way, let's talk about John Mayer. Since you know nothing, you will now know something. John Mayer was born in 1977 in Connecticut, and he was inspired to start playing guitar when he was 13, and his dad rented a guitar for him to learn how to play. His early inspiration came from a cassette tape of Stevie Ray Vaughan, who you may recall from episode 36 back in the day.
Never heard of him.
No, no, I know you have, although it wouldn't surprise me if you thought you hadn't. So he started doing this deep dive, really deep dive into blues music through other artists like Otis Rush, B.B. King, and Buddy Guy. His obsession with blues was so deep, in fact, that his parents had him checked out by a psychiatrist to make sure that he was okay. He was that into blues. He wrote his first music of his own at 17 after he had a heart incident that sent him to the hospital. Mayer went to Berklee College of Music for about a year, and in 1997 he moved to Atlanta to start making music with his friend Clay Cook as the duo act Lo-Fi Masters. Shortly thereafter, John Mayer split off to go his own way. They had some creative differences. Mayer wanted to go kind of more of a pop, mass appeal direction. After a performance at South by Southwest, the big annual music festival in Austin, and a debut EP that includes a couple of tracks that we'll cover in a minute, Mayer signed with Aware Records in 2001, and he got to work. A couple of those first songs got reworked and converted into tracks that became his first proper LP, and today's subject, Room for Squares. It came out on June 5th, 2001. The title is a reference to, and in fact, it's directly lifted from, a 1963 jazz album by Hank Mobley. The album took a while to get its footing, but once it caught on, it really took off. It topped Billboard's Heat Seekers chart in 2002, and No Such Thing, Your Body is a Wonderland, and Why Georgia all met big radio success. Over its first year, steady, consistent sales kind of took it all the way up to platinum pretty quickly. In fact, its consistency made it Mayer's best-selling album to date, even now, moving more than 5 million units in the US alone.
Wow.
I know, that's pretty big, and it's also 3 times platinum in Australia, platinum in Canada and New Zealand, and silver in the United Kingdom, and it charted pretty well in a couple other places too, peaking at 8 in the United States, 5 in Australia, 6 in New Zealand, 9 in Canada, and only making it to number 128 in the United Kingdom. Not as popular over there. The album actually earned him a Best New Artist Grammy nomination, and a win for Your Body is a Wonderland in 2003, and that's kind of the history of this album. So he starts out on Room for Squares with this poppy singer-songwriter sound, like we said. It's very light, very acoustic, sing-alongable, and it's got a lot of that mass appeal that he was looking for when he started performing with lo-fi masters. And then he decides that he wants to pivot. In time, he starts to release music with a little more spice, little more flavor to it. He started to work with jazz and blues musicians, and he really kind of got back to his inspirational roots over time, kind of making more of that jazz-influenced music. He also really expanded his collaboration horizons, working alongside artists like his heroes Buddy Guy and B.B. King, and also putting out songs with notable artists like Eric Clapton and even Kanye West. So take notes, John Mayer.
Take notes.
He also went on this tear of releasing live albums, calling them as is, like This Is How I Played It, right? That's kind of the gimmick of it. And a lot of those are out and about. People really loved him for his technical ability as well as his songwriting. So he can play live pretty well. With his third album, called Continuum, he finally decided to, quote, close up shop on acoustic sensitivity. 2 huge results. That album's biggest single was the one we talked about that I guess it wasn't big enough to reach Connor, Waiting on the World to Change.
It's hard to reach me, to be fair.
Yeah, that's true. You're a rock under a rock somewhere else.
Under a rock in a glass house.
Yes, I don't remember what you said. It's been a long time.
Rocks living under rocks in glass houses.
Yeah. But what's interesting about it is like he's still got that acoustic style in his tool belt. It's not a thing that he leans on anymore, but it's nice that he can sprinkle that in when he wants it, even though he's got a lot more to offer. Of course, Mayer's had his share of controversy in his career too. I looked up a handful. He's done some wild interviews back in the day. Some stuff that really makes you raise an eyebrow. But we'll kind of gloss over that. Suffice it to say, he's had some moments. But over the course of his entire career thus far, he's put out 8 studio albums and almost as many live albums with 7. He's also taken on 10 solo tours and then co-tours with artists like Counting Crows, Sheryl Crow, a lot of crows.
A lot of crows.
Yeah, he's done extensive work for Dead & Company as well. Plus, he opened for the Police's Sting in 2004.
How many crows does it take to make a murder?
3, I think. I mean, 2 is just a pair.
Okay, so 3 is a murder. So he's 1 crow away from a murder.
Yeah, he might be. Well, I don't know. Do we count the crows in Counting Crows?
Oh, I don't know.
Because there might be more than one. Sounds like there's at least 2 there.
That's a good point. Yeah, it's not called Counting Crow. Counting Crows. That implies more than one.
Mm-hmm. It implies a murder.
You heard it here first. John Mayer, murder. They're linked.
John Mayer is linked to murder because he's toured with a lot of crows. Ridiculous. John Mayer has 7 Grammy Awards on 19 nominations. His first win was in 2003 for Best Male Pop Vocal Performance, and that was for the song Your Body is a Wonderland. His most recent Grammy win came back in 2009.
A long time ago.
At this point, yes. He's also been nominated for and won several MTV Music Video Awards, American Music Awards, some ASCAP Awards, and a People's Choice Award. The people chose him. And in 2002, the Polestar Concert Industry Awards named his tour the Best New Artist Tour. So, how about that? Another trivia tidbit about John Mayer, much like we talked about with his inspiration, Stevie Ray Vaughan, John Mayer is a huge guitar collector. He's got over 200 guitars, and he has custom, very, very limited runs of Fender Stratocasters, Martin guitars, and amplifiers. He's got all kinds of Mayer custom and Mayer-inspired material out there. If you know where to look, you could find a lot of John Mayer brand guitars. That's interesting. But with our information out of the way, I think it's time to figure out what more bizarre facts we can learn. Is the mixtaper ready to go?
Well, let's get them on out here.
Yes, let's.
Hey, it's me, the mixtaper.
Hello. Glad to see you again.
It's all right to see you.
Thanks, I guess. So last week we had 6 big old facts about Elton John. Very sneaky facts that even incorporated lies into other lies.
Yeah.
I'm curious to see what tricks you brought this time. I'm a little worried.
All right, let's see. Ooh, which one of these is a better starting fact?
I like how sometimes you plan them all out, beat by beat ahead of time, and then sometimes we really just throw care to the wind, and sometimes even make up facts on the spot.
Gotta keep you guessing.
It swings wide with you.
We'll start with this one. He performed on a train.
Right off the bat, I'm going to say this is a lot more believable than performing on a cow.
Yeah, but you went true with that one, so.
I did. So why on a train? Where was he headed?
Oh, this was like a booked gig.
Oh, was it for someone cool that was training across the country, or I don't know, something. They just wanted entertainment on the train, so they were like, oh, John Mayer.
It was for a holiday train ride.
Oh, like an event then, where people would buy tickets to ride, the proverbial Polar Express.
I mean, sure. Less Polar Express, but yes.
Yeah, right.
Everything else.
That's pretty cool. Although, I can't imagine that'd be super convenient because train cars are long and narrow. And so, like, was he just in one car and everybody crammed into that car that could fit? Or did he, like, go car to car and do a little show for each section of the train? How do you execute the logistics?
No, he had a specific train car that was like the music car. Like each car of the train was like, one was like the food car, one was the music car. Like, so people would just kind of travel around, and he was just performing songs, on the train.
Was this a one-time thing, or is this like a repeated? Does he get invited back?
No, this was a one-time thing.
How much did he get paid?
No idea.
Okay.
Probably not too awfully much. This was early in his career.
Right, I see. Oh yeah, how early? Like, when was this, before his first album came out, or some other time?
Yeah, this was in 1998, which I believe was before his first album, if I was paying attention to your rundown.
Yeah, should be. But not long before. Okay, I'm gonna say this one's a spin.
Going with spin.
I guess I have to. I think the logistics of performing on a train, I just don't get it. People wouldn't want to, I don't know, you wouldn't want to miss the show, would you? Why would you sit in another car?
You act like this is like a full show and not just like...
Just ambient music?
He's just performing music for the entire train ride and people are moving around. Like, he's just like people who perform at like a bar or whatever. It's not like a concert. It's... You buy tickets for the train ride, and he was the musical entertainment in one of the cars.
He's just a part of it. Right.
Yeah.
Well, that is a little different of an environment.
Just to be clear, I mean, if you want to go spin still, that's fine. I just want to make sure we're clear about the environment.
Yeah, I think I'm still leaning towards a spin.
Okay. Didn't even ask me what the train was or anything. I had all this information.
I never know what you have and don't. It's the bag of carrots again. What was the train?
It was the world famous Skunk Train.
Oh, okay. So we've got a lot more to ask about here. So let's...
No, if you're going to lock in the spin, we'll move on.
No, we'll linger for a minute. What is the Skunk Train?
It's been around since 1885.
Okay.
The historic skunk has made its way through old-growth redwood groves, over scenic trestle bridges, through spectacular tunnels, and into the heart of the Noyo River Canyon. Today's riders enjoy the same pristine views that have remained largely unchanged for well over a century.
Okay.
I looked them up.
Why is it called the Skunk?
Oh, I don't know.
Maybe it's like a black train with a white stripe. Maybe it hit a skunk one time. Maybe it stinks.
It's got a black, like, caboose, right? That's the first one?
No, the caboose is the last one.
Oh, that's the last one. What's the first one?
The engine?
I guess, yeah. I don't know. Sometimes there's an engine on the front and the back, so you can go in either direction.
Yeah, that's true. Or have a tug of war, if you're really ambitious.
Oh. Yeah, it looks like it maybe has a black front and then all the cars are red. Blue. I don't know what's going on with this train.
Okay.
But it's been doing train rides since 1885.
Has anyone else performed on the Skunk Train?
I mean, I don't know. I didn't look into that. But you can book it for weddings, group events, lodging. I don't know what that means.
You could sleep on the train.
All sorts of stuff going on. Apparently, they also have a rail bike experience where you can get on like one of the platforms that you have to like crank yourself to move.
One of the little pump cars? Yeah.
Yeah. There's special events going on right now. I don't know what it was called back when he did it, but...
Not a sponsor. Skunk Train, not a sponsor.
It's the Christmas tree train where you can meet Mr. Skunk and the giant Christmas tree.
What?
Our Mr. Skunk and the Giant Christmas Tree train runs through the month of December, and you and your family can experience the beauty of this historic train and meet Mr. Skunk Santa.
Is the Santa a skunk?
I don't know. I'm trying to find pictures.
So this has only reinforced my belief that this is a spin.
This is just what's going on now. I have no idea what was going on back when he did it.
Of course. But what I think is you just found out about the Skunk Train, I think.
Oh, it's another one of those, you think?
Yeah, I think you just wanted a way to introduce me to Mr. Skunk Santa. So I'm gonna say this one's a spin.
You know me so well. This is a spin.
Oh, it is? Okay. Sometimes when you
Yes.
set it up like saying, oh, you know me so well, then you say, this is a fact. You got it wrong. And then that really is disheartening.
Yeah, I learned about the Skunk Train and wanted to talk about it. That's not actually 100% true. I had the idea of him performing on the train, and then I learned about the Skunk Train, and I was like, well, now we have to talk about the Skunk Train.
You just learned about the specific train. Yeah, I see.
Apparently, if you want to ride the Pudding Creek Express train, you can get tickets for $50.
Ew.
But if you want to do the rail bikes on the No-Yo, that's like starting at $500.
I gotta say, a Pudding Creek sounds awful. Sounds goopy. And
Yeah.
Anyway,
Willy Wonka stuff.
yeah,
I can't find any pictures of Skunk Santa.
that is a shame. So John Mayer, not on the skunk train,
Nope.
but he is doing the thing in our next fact, maybe.
Maybe. And that thing would be eating pickles.
Okay, John Mayer is eating pickles right now.
Specifically in a contest.
A contest?
A pickle eating contest.
Did he win it?
Yeah.
Okay, so John Mayer won a pickle eating contest is the fact here.
Yes.
What an interesting contest. How many pickles did he eat to win?
Don't know.
Okay.
I don't have a lot of information about this one.
Okay, so where is this pickle contest happening? Who hosts the pickle contest?
His high school.
Oh, hi. Okay, so this is a while back. Does he like pickles? I mean, you must if you win a contest like that.
I would hope so.
What was the prize? What did he win for eating a lot of pickles?
The principal's parking spot.
He got to park in the principal's space for eating pickles.
Yep.
So the principal offered up his space to the kid who ate the most pickles.
Yeah, this was a contest that was happening in senior year of high school. You like paid dinner as a fundraiser thing for like my guess is probably like the student body or something. But you paid dinner, and the winner got to park in the principal's space for a week.
For a whole week. Wow.
Yep.
That's 5 whole school days.
Yeah.
What's his favorite kind of pickle? Like, is he a dill guy? You know, what?
I don't know, but he did talk about how he had to eat a spicy pickle.
Uh-oh. As part of the contest?
Yeah, he says that it was like a hodgepodge, like it was a pickle basket
Ew.
filled with all sorts of different kind of pickles. I don't know if it was actually a basket. That's just what he called it. And you just pulled pickles out and ate as many as you could. And there was all sorts of different ones in there. And he ended up pulling a hot pickle.
Very interesting. So he won and he got to park in the space.
Yeah.
Did he love it?
It was his proudest moment from high school.
That was his proudest moment, was eating a lot of pickles.
Yes, at least that's how he answered the interviewer question when they were talking about his childhood and everything growing up. And they said, what's something you're proud of? And he brought up pickles.
Interesting. I think I'm going to say this one's a fact.
Lock it in fact on this one.
Yeah, I guess it just, I don't know. Sure, why not?
This is another spin.
Oh, well darn. I thought I might be onto something. It seemed like a very high school fundraiser thing to do, you know?
Yeah, I agree. That's why I made it up.
Okay, fair enough. Well, I'm sorry, John Mayer. I guess I thought you were more of a pickle eater.
Pickle champion.
Pickle King, John Mayer.
Pickle King.
John Mayer, the Pickle King.
Can that be a spin it award? Pickle King?
Pickle King? Yeah, wait, you're right. John Mayer, you might have lost the contest, but you are the spin it Pickle King.
But you're our Pickle King. Congratulations.
Just get in touch with us to claim your prize.
Yeah, let us know if, yeah.
That's not one I thought we'd be giving out today.
But my third one, ramping up. We've gone from trains to pickles.
Yup, we did.
Up next is his love of watches.
Ooh. What about his love of watches?
Just that he owns a lot of them.
Ambiguous phrases like he owns a lot of watches are always dangerous.
Yeah.
Because you could say some number that's really big. How many watches does he have?
I don't know the number of watches, but I know the amount of money.
Okay, that doesn't necessarily tell me much, because I know some watches can get pretty pricey. But
Yeah.
how much money has he spent on watches?
Well, it's time to play everybody's second favorite spin a game show. Guess that dollar amount.
Darn it, $3 million.
Higher.
Higher? I almost said $5 million.
Higher.
$7 million.
Higher.
If I said $20 million,
Whoa, you're going pretty high.
well, I want to get back out of the higher category. I want you to tell me I'm too high.
Well, I can't because that is the number $20 million
Wow.
in watches.
That's a lot of watches.
Yep.
So, does he keep them all wound? Are they all like accurate time. And are they all like modern watches, or does he have any, I don't know, historical ones, collector's pieces, famous watches?
I think most of them are more modern, at least the ones I know about. He's a big fan of like your big luxury watches, like Rolex, that kind of stuff.
I see. Does he wear them a lot, or just like
Yeah.
have them?
I'm looking at several pictures of him like performing with different watches on and interviews with different watches on.
Why? What got him started on this?
I don't know what got him into it, but he's so deep into the industry, into the watch world, if you will.
Yeah.
He writes for and contributes to the largest watch publication on the planet.
Whoa. What watch publication is that?
I don't know. This article just says the largest watch.
Me either. It's just the largest watch
Hang
publication.
on, let's look.
And that's really telling about how popular watches are.
Watch Time is a leading watch magazine, so maybe it's that one.
Maybe it is.
We'll ask him when he gets in touch with us for the award.
Yeah, when he goes to receive the wear your finest watch to the Pickle King coronation.
Some of these watches are pretty cool.
I believe it. Some watches are really cool. We've had collectors in the past.
This is a $20 million collection.
That's a big number. Where does he keep them? Does he have them like displayed or stored somewhere? I don't know. Does he have like a watch closet?
Probably keeps them on their freaking lock and key. A lot of these I'm looking at are like $150,000 a watch.
Exactly. So like a $20 million watch collection could be like, I don't know, thousands of watches or like 12, you know? It all depends.
He's got at least 22. That's how many of them are in this article.
I see. Do you know what his most expensive one is? Or even his favorite?
No.
All right. Well, I guess I'm going to have to wing it. I think this one is a...
He started to say fact.
Fact. I think it's a fact.
Oh, he finishes it. He finishes the word.
Yeah, I went back and forth for a little bit there, but honestly, it's probably helpful that you don't know the name of the watch publication. I think that was...
or you're letting me get away with a bold-faced lie.
I'm letting you get away with a watch face lie.
Oh.
I think, though, this seems true.
This is a fact.
Hey, it's a fact.
Haven't had a lot of those recently.
No, we haven't. And that's another reason I felt like maybe it would be a fact. Not that that's an indicator. They're surprisingly indistinct. I mean, some of them are really cool. Like that one's got diamonds all around it. But like a lot of them just kind of look like normal watches. Not that I'd know the first thing about value.
I feel like most watches look like normal watches if you're not a watch guy.
That's true. Well, that's incredible. I really had no idea.
Yeah. And you probably have no idea about this last fact either.
You're probably right.
He once had a Krav Maga match against a famous tennis star.
Wow, lots of things at play here.
Indeed.
Krav Maga is like a form of martial arts.
Indeed.
So he's a martial artist, or did he just find himself in a random Krav Maga match?
I wish it was the second one.
Like, I don't know, a celebrity Krav Maga tournament. Who's the tennis star that he played against?
James Blake.
Okay. And did he win? I mean, he's not an athlete.
He did not.
I guess if he's a Krav Maga artist, then sure, maybe he is. But he did not win.
Nope.
How does one win Krav Maga? I don't know any of the specifics about form or moves or function or...
Ooh, that's a good question. I'm going to guess it's like karate where it's like a point system, but maybe it's not.
Right. Maybe it's like a pin-based system. Like if you pin someone or...
It's probably, yeah, it's got to be one of the two, right?
Or you could push them out of a ring like sumo wrestling.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I really don't know. How does he get himself into this situation? Who orchestrates this Krav Maga tournament? And is it a tournament or just a single match?
A single match.
And was it like an event? I don't know. Did people tune in just to watch this? Or was it for fun?
This was a middle school. This was in middle school.
Oh my gosh.
I couldn't remember if it was middle school or high school. I was trying to find my article.
So neither of them were famous at the time.
No.
I thought it was like a celebrity Krav Maga thing, but really it was just
No.
some middle school kids fighting it out.
Yep.
How did they discover that they did this against each other? Like, I can't remember half the people I played, like, rec league soccer with.
They've been friends since childhood.
Oh, they were buddies?
Yeah.
Oh.
Friendship goes all the way back to middle school when they would play Nintendo together and we're both in the same Krav Maga class.
That's really cool. Have they ever played tennis against each other?
Ooh, I don't know. Probably.
Probably, I'd imagine. I'm going to say this one's a fact.
Going with fact. Again,
Yeah.
we did 2 facts in a row.
I think you might have.
You've thought 3 out of the 4 of these were facts.
I did. I'm curious whether you know if he's stuck with Krav Maga or not. Does he still do it?
Yeah, he still knows it. I don't know like like if you do it really as an adult,
I have no idea.
or if it's just something you know. But
Well, use it or lose it, right?
he said in an interview, "Watch out, paparazzi," when talking about it.
Oh, sounds like he's not afraid.
Yeah, well, he is the Pickle King, so
Yeah,
this is what's your hearts of hearts tell you right now? Are you right or wrong?
I'm right.
Thank you for putting that on the record because you are wrong. This is a
Darn.
spin.
Well, that's unfortunate.
But it's two true facts mushed together into a spin.
Oh,
He does know Krav Maga, and he was childhood friends with a tennis star. He did not get into Krav Maga until later in life, nor is James Blake into Krav Maga at all.
sneaky. That was sneaky. 2 half facts. That actually made that one seem really believable.
2 half facts. Yeah. So with that, we end in the classic 50-50 tie.
No surprise there. I'm telling you what, if you win one of these weeks, I'll let you use the principal's parking space for a week.
Oh, thanks.
You're welcome. That'll be the stakes for the next episode. How about that?
Okay.
Great. Well, we'll see you next week for more facts and more spins. Have fun riding the skunk train.
Thank you. Yes, I look forward to it.
Make sure you leave some trash out under your tree for skunk claws or whatever. I don't know how it works.
I don't know how it works either, but I'm interested to find out. Go off to the untrue and do some research.
Great. Have fun.
Yeah.
Welcome back, Connor.
I have returned.
Yes, you have. How about that mixtaper? What a guy.
Yeah. I thought you were maybe going to get him this week. You went into that last one with the lead.
Yeah, I know. Oh, and I was feeling confident. I was feeling really confident, but the double fact thing, that really threw me off. I don't think we've done many of those before that were partial facts fused together.
We've done partial facts that he's turned into lies, but yeah, the fused together isn't something we've really done.
Yeah, nothing in that was super false. Let's talk about the album cover on Room for Squares.
Yes, let's. Album art.
Does this album cover look familiar to you in any way?
No.
No? It should.
Why?
Well, the album art is a bunch of squares. And you know what else is a bunch of squares?
Yep, there's plenty of room for them.
There is plenty of room for them. The periodic table.
Yeah.
This is the right side of the periodic table on the front of this album.
Oh yeah, I guess it is.
Yeah, I don't really know why particularly, but I do know that the back half of the album, like when you flip the CD over to the other side, it's the other part of the periodic table. So taken together, it's the whole thing.
Interesting.
In the squares is a picture of him sitting on a couch with his guitar.
Is that a custom made guitar?
No, that's just a normal made guitar.
Feels like missed opportunity, but all right.
Well, it feels like an opportunity that wasn't around yet. The picture was taken before he released an album. So they don't just give custom guitars to anybody.
I mean, with enough money.
That's true.
Maybe he intimidated him with his Krav Maga and pickle eating skills.
He ate so many pickles until they finally said, stop, we'll make you a guitar.
We'll do it.
We give up.
Pickle King.
Well, that's all I've got about the album cover. I knew you wouldn't recognize it as the periodic table, and I think it's interesting that they did that.
What if I did? What if I said that? I was like, the periodic table, and you were like, oh, wow.
Well, then I would have been surprised and said, good job.
Would you have been impressed?
No.
Oh, you could have said yes since I wasn't. You could have lied to me there.
Okay, fair point. Yes.
Not too late now.
Well, let's talk about these songs. We've got 13 tracks to get through. They're very acoustic-y. Very good stuff.
They are.
So let's get into this album.
With No Such Thing.
Oh my gosh, you didn't even do it. I'm sitting here waiting for you.
Oh. Let's spin it.
You keep wanting a catchphrase, and the ball is just consistently dropped.
Not true. Sometimes it's caught at the wrong
I
moment.
just think you're not meant to have a catchphrase, that's all.
But I want one.
Then you gotta remember it.
I feel like it's like that situation where like the kid's like, I want a dog. It's like, no, because I'll be stuck feeding and watering it and taking it for a walk because you won't ever.
I'll be stuck making you say your catchphrase.
Exactly.
Exactly. But yes, the first track on the album is No Such Thing, John Mayer's breakout single. And here's the little spin cycle trivia tidbit for you.
Yeah.
Kanye West claimed that No Such Thing was a big inspiration for his college dropout album.
Weird.
Right? I know. I had the same thought. Basically, he was inspired by the idea of the song, that there's no such thing as a right way to do things. You know, there's no box we need to fit into, no path that we all need to follow.
He was like, I can take this idea and do it worse.
I mean, he said I could take this. Yeah, some would say. In his own words, he says, no such thing is about a kid who's tired of being told to stay inside the lines. So that's kind of where he's at. In the first verse, he describes what people think he should be doing, right? Plotting his life out in black and white. Take a seat. Welcome to the real world. People are really kind of trying to put his life on rails. But the chorus, he kind of breaks free and tells us how he's really going to do it. Running through the halls and screaming, probably after eating a spicy pickle.
Again, because I wasn't aware of John Mayer, really, I didn't know what really to expect.
Yeah, how did this song whet your appetite?
I didn't mind it.
Okay, that's a good endorsement. Did not mind.
Well, we'll talk as we get through the album.
Sure. I like it as an opening track. I think it does kind of set the scene pretty well. Maybe a little bit thematically, but more so sonically in a big way. The rest of the album sounds just like this song. Almost all of it. A lot of major seventh chords in there. Kind of give it a nice little, I don't know, hollowish sound to it. And his voice, this is probably a thing that you had a thought about, but he never really changes his intensity level.
Correct.
The way that he sings and the way that he plays is pretty constant throughout this song and this album. And that's not a thing I take issue with on any individual track, but for 54 minutes of this whole album,
as a whole,
it does feel a little stagnant.
Yep. I said we'd talk as we got through the album, but I guess we'll talk now. That was exactly the argument I was going to make. I was going to be like, I didn't mind it here, and I never really minded it anywhere, but by the end I was exhausted.
Yeah.
And that was because I was trying to just make my way through the exact, there was no movement at all.
Yeah. And he sings with the same voice and same inflection every time. It really doesn't vary. And I guess if you like that, then this album has plenty of it.
Yeah, good for you.
I do like his lyric writing style, though.
Yeah, I like his lyrics.
A little bit. Some of these lines are really interesting. Like, all of our parents are getting older. I wonder if they've wished for anything better while in their memories. Tiny tragedies. Some of his lyrics make less sense in other places, but I think on No Such Thing they're really good. Pretty good. And I like the matter-of-factness on the bridge and other places on this album. He doesn't beat around the bush a lot. He's able to say things in an interesting way without meandering to them. In the bridge, he just says, I'm invincible as long as I'm alive, which is a cool thought and kind of a good way to illustrate taking the reins into your own hands and living life your way. And then he closes with an image of how he plans to bust down the doors and dance on the tables at his high school reunion. Did he actually do that? No. What the heck?
What the heck? Should have went, busted down the door, got up on the tables, and been like, I'm the Pickle King!
Well, if he had been the Pickle King, if that hadn't been a lie, maybe he would have.
I mean, you still could have done it.
True. Up next is the second song on the album, Why Georgia? And it's one of my favorites, I think. I would put a claim in for Why Georgia. I think it's a strong track, especially thematically, to follow up No Such Thing, because he spends so much time musing on whether he's living his life right and wondering about the outcome of his life. Like, are the decisions that he's making, whether he's inside the lines or not, whether he's doing his own thing or not, are they the right decisions? Where's he heading? And that's kind of the heart behind Why Georgia.
Yeah.
That guitar riff is just so much fun to listen to and to play. I like it a lot. It's one of the better guitar parts on this album, as far as a rhythm guitar goes. John wrote the song when he was living in Atlanta, and word on the street is that he actually was driving down 285 when he thought of that lyric, driving up 85 in the kind of morning that lasts all afternoon. He was playing a gig at a bookstore, and he forgot his guitar. Now, how on earth you go to a music gig as a guitar player, like primarily, and don't have your guitar is beyond me, but that's what he did.
There's a line in that first verse that made me giggle, and I kept giggling through the whole song. And it's just because I misinterpreted it the first time I heard it.
Okay.
It's the line, 4 more exits to my apartment.
Oh, so he's talking about being 4 freeway exits away.
Yes, he absolutely is. But in my mind, I heard it, I was like, oh wow, he's got 4 ways to leave his apartment? That's a lot.
Windows and doors and fire escapes. Yeah.
Yeah, I was just like, man, it's because it says like 4 more. It's like, what'd you do? Add a bunch? Like, how many did you have to begin with?
He cut some holes in the walls. No, that's not what he meant. I assure you.
And of course, I instantly, with the next song, I intended to keep the car and drive. I was reminded of what the context of the lyrics were, but it still made me giggle the entire song.
Yeah, I guess I never thought about it that way, because why would I have thought about it that way?
Because why would you? Yeah.
Yeah. But I guess, sure, it could be open to interpretation.
It's really not.
I like verse 2 a lot. He says, I rent a room and fill the spaces with wood in places to make it feel like home, but all I feel is alone. It's a really cool illustration for that kind of impermanence, this little bit of a physical, visual representation of all the uncertainty that's in his life at this point. You know, where am I going to go? I don't know. I just have this temporary space full of temporary furniture to try and make myself belong in this situation. I like White Georgia. Up next is track 3, My Stupid Mouth. As the story goes, he wrote the song about losing a pickle competition. Stupid Mouth couldn't eat enough pickles.
Dang it. Couldn't fit him in there.
Stupid Mouth. This song is about a bad first date. You're doing great, everything's going well, and then you put your foot in your stupid mouth. He says the wrong thing, she gets upset, he gets flustered, and basically he torpedoes this potential romance that, until this point, was seemingly doing okay. And like I mentioned, you know, real life interviews have kind of landed him in hot water more than once, so I think we can pretty safely assume this song is personal.
Yeah.
What's interesting, too, is it's a change in his lyrical style. It's a pivot away from the metaphors and stuff in No Such Thing in Why Georgia, right? These figurative, non-literal languages. And he moves towards this way more vividly descriptive set of lyrics about things that are actually going on.
Yeah. I kind of liked it.
Yeah, I do, too. It's a nice change because it kind of puts us in that moment with him. I like the chorus. I'm never speaking up again, it only hurts me. I'd rather be a mystery than she deserts me. It reminds me of that saying about how it's better to stay silent and be thought a fool than to open your mouth and be known to be one, or however it goes, you know?
Yeah. He also does that kind of wispy, higher pitched falsetto voice that sometimes I've complained about in the past. I like it. I think it fits his style.
It really does. He can execute it well. The other thing I like is the way that we end that chorus. I'm never speaking up again starting now. And everything does kind of fade off for a second. And then he cuts back in. One more thing. Like he instantly breaks that vow of silence, swears off talking, and then just can't keep his stupid mouth shut.
I thought you were about to say that he says, I'm never speaking up again starting now. And then you're like, and it does start to trail off down the rest of the album. I thought you were about to just diss the entire rest of the album.
No. No, just that part specifically where it kind of shows what he's trying to describe as he continues to sing verses after starting to not speak up. How'd you feel about track 4? Another one of John Mayer's greatest hits, Your Body is a Wonderland.
I liked it too. Most popular song on the album.
It is, yeah. And it's one of the most talked about. I mean, I've seen it joked about in movies and TV shows. It's kind of become a bit in its own right. There's speculation that he wrote this song about his then girlfriend Jennifer Love Hewitt, but she has denied that. Mayer says it's about his first girlfriend.
Ah.
And I've heard a rumor that there are some interesting original lyrics out there that he had to clean up before recording the song, and let's just leave it at that.
Interesting.
It was a little more specific.
I see.
He told Rolling Stone, he said, it's not about hot girls, it's about a girl who does it for you. People are always thinking it's a makeout song, but really it's about loving every part of someone like they're a jungle gym. Which is a weird analogy, I think.
Yeah, it's pretty weird.
The guitar part's nice, though. I also like the guitar and the instrumentals on this one a lot. Feels very airy, very floaty. The other thing I noticed is that line in the first verse where he says, your skin's like porcelain, and it reminded me of the Red Hot Chili Peppers episode and the song Porcelain, where that's kind of the main idea of it.
So much fun to see the differences in where things take us. Yours went to a very normal, reference to something we've talked about on the podcast. You said the line, and instantly I thought of the porcelain girl from the Wizard of Oz prequel.
The one with James Franco?
Yeah.
What a weird place to go.
I know, that's what I said. I just love the differences in how our brains work.
Maybe you're still stuck on Yellow Brick Road from last week.
That must be it.
I'm gonna cautiously let that slide. Weird. The other thing that I like that kind of ties this song to the rest of the album is that he even recycles a quick little I'll never speak again from my stupid mouth. He brings it back.
But yet he still keeps speaking for another,
sure is.
9 tracks or whatever.
Still speaking. He is. Just always buzzing, isn't he? Just like Neon.
Like a neon sign.
I like Neon a lot. That's track 5.
No, I like that. I guess it's just not my favorite song called Neon.
Okay, very specific. How many other songs called Neon do you know?
At least one. It's Chris Young's Neon, the country song.
Oh, okay. That's an interesting pick.
Which is better.
I don't know if it is.
Oh no, it's good. The hook on the chorus and everything in that song so much better than this one. Especially when this song's been washed out by the 4 that came before it. Because again, we're still on that straight line of intensity and style.
He's flatlined, yeah, and Neon continues the trend. I don't know. I think for me, I've always loved that like quasi jazz guitar part on this one.
Oh, I like that.
It's got really cool syncopation to it, and I like that the song's got a lot of cool light imagery in it. The song's about a girl who's buzzing or getting drunk, just like neon on a bar sign. So it's a really cool metaphor, but then the light imagery, right? The sky gets dark enough to see the colors of the city lights. A trail of ruby red and diamond white hits her like a sunrise. Talking about how she's waking up as the city's going to sleep. The cars on the highway hit her like a sunrise. And she's really starting to come alive at this time when everything is winding down. Plus, I guess I like the simplicity of the chorus. There's not much to it. Who knows how long she can go before she burns away.
There's not much to the other one either. Just him holding the word neon out. Neon. The buzz I like to be on.
I guess there are some real lyrical similarities, aren't there? Now that you mention that, and looking at it chorus for chorus, Well, this song, it kind of illustrates how this girl's a heavy hitter who just dives deep into everything, from her music to her drinks. She's always abuzz with energy and life, and who knows how long she can go on. It's a cool image. Do you know any other songs called City Love?
No.
Okay, so this is your favorite song called City Love then. Congratulations.
Not necessarily.
Oh, ouch.
No, I actually do like this one because this is a song that gives us one of the closest things we're going to get to a change in elevation on this flat line.
Yeah, a little bit.
The instrumental style is a little different on this one. It's more drum heavy.
Mm-hmm.
So I liked it. This one kind of woke me back up.
It does. It leans more into his blues side.
Yeah.
It's less of a singer-songwriter pop song.
I know a song called City of Love, but it's not the same.
Nope. I think this song is really cool. He moves to the Big Apple, moves to New York City, and he describes in a few words how lost and confused he was to be in such a big new place without much around to keep him grounded. But then he meets a girl in the city, a girl named Lydia, who starts to take him around and show him all the wonders and the sights. And so he develops this kind of parallel city love for the city, with his city love, the girl. And it's a really neat little lyrical trick that I like a lot. And I think that kind of culminates in that last lyric of the chorus. I can't remember life before her name, one of the song's bigger hooks. And it's kind of calling back to that sensation, being lost without her, quite literally. And now he's developed this love for the city and the lifestyle, and he can't really ever go back to the time before he knew it. It will never be an unknown sensation to him again. It's mostly imagined and fictionalized, of course, and I think people have pretty much agreed that there's not a real Lydia or a character who plays that role in John Mayer's life. But nonetheless, I think the song is a really great reflection on not only how you change when you're with someone new and how you learn from them, but also it's a great overview of how you embrace all the changes that you undergo when you experience a new place for the first time. I like City Love. It's not a sing-along song.
No, it's not.
But it's a really interesting, introspective song.
Yeah, I liked it. Like I said, it woke me up a little bit.
Me too.
And then I went right back to sleep.
You went right back to sleep on track 7, 83?
Yeah, we were just right back into that same groove we've been stuck in.
The rut.
Yeah.
Well, 83 is a song about John Mayer's youth and what it was like being a kid, just 6 years old, in 1983. And he describes the way he remembers that time, walking home when everything is frozen in front of me, kind of stuck in that era. He gives a little shout out to the Police and their song Wrapped Around Your Finger, which is actually really cool that he would eventually go on to tour with Sting, someone who clearly influenced him from a young age. I think that kind of reminiscence is really nice, but it also lands a little flat. It doesn't do much for me, the first verse, and talking about how everything used to be. What really makes this song stick in any fashion at all is that chorus and the setup, how he frames it as, these days, I wish that I was 6 again, and wishing life was more like it was at the start of me. Like, what a powerful phrase. I wish life was the way I remember it when I became who I was, when I started on, actually becoming myself.
Mm-hmm.
It feels very profound. I like that. Verse 2, though, makes some interesting decisions that I do kind of like. How he says, my brother Ben looks just like his brother John. Like, you're all brothers. So, I don't know.
Why would Yeah.
It's interesting to put that distance in there by saying his brother. It kind of gives this line an unexpected flavor.
It does.
And then we move on to this part that I like too, where he kind of insinuates, even if you rip up the floors, you change the whole house, you mix everything around, I'm still so deeply tied to this place, down even into the dirt. Pieces of me like remain. And that's awesome. That's a really interesting image, and I think the song's a neat way to portray it. The outro, though, I mean, whatever happened to my lunchbox, that one loses me a little bit.
Does it?
I get it, but it feels out of place on this song. From a musical standpoint,
It didn't bother me, but I wasn't really trying too hard.
fair enough. Do you know what happened to your lunchbox?
I still use it.
Oh, look at you go.
The Incredibles. Take it to work every day.
Wow.
That's not true.
Oh. I would have believed it. I really would have believed it.
I don't want all of our fans out there thinking I go to work every day with a 6-year-old's Incredibles lunchbox.
You know what else I noticed about this album? I mean, it's not really a lot, but it just feels like a lot because they're back to back. A lot of number-titled songs. We moved from 83 into 3x5.
One of the worst picture sizes.
Wow, is it? That's
I don't know. I just wanted to be controversial.
hot take from Spin It. 3x5. It's a mediocre picture size.
That's the size. Is that wallet size?
Is your wallet 5 inches big?
I guess. Yeah.
No. No.
Oh no. No, you're right. 3x5 is a dumb size. You're right. No, I'm right. 3x5, stupid size.
It is kind of a dumb size.
Yeah. 3x5, dumb. Get it out of here.
Get it out of here. It's a weird ratio. Well, the song is about traveling and memories and photographs. So yeah, hence the photocentric title. It's about the size of the pictures. He starts it off like a little letter. He says, sorry I didn't send any pictures.
I'm not photogenic.
I just didn't bother bringing my camera because I'm, quote, hoping I would see the world through both my eyes. And yeah, maybe he's not photogenic.
He doesn't take his camera when he's supposed to take a picture. He doesn't take his guitar when he has a gig. He's just forgetting things.
Yeah, he is. Basically, yeah, he's just trying to go have these experiences on his own and not be distracted by the camera or trying to take pictures because the pictures never do it justice. And that's his big thing, is he's trying to find ways to describe his experiences in letters and kind of finding that ineffective. And so he says, you'll be with me next time I go outside, no more 3x5s. Like, this is something I want to experience, but more importantly, I want to experience it with you, which I think is really sweet.
Yeah.
As far as the song itself goes, I'm not particularly attached to it. It feels a little longer than it needs to be. But it does have a kind of a pep to it and a little bit of a bounce that a lot of these other songs are kind of missing.
I agree.
A lot of walk-ups and walk-downs.
I know I was hating on the picture size, but...
The picture size, not great. The song, okay.
The song, all right.
Yeah, and that's kind of how you felt about most of this album, it seems, right?
Yeah.
It hasn't seemingly ever blown you away so far, but also, it's never really let you down.
Yeah, except for this next song that pissed me off.
Love Song for No One, huh? You didn't like that? Why?
It started off with this big, intense guitar riff. And I was like, finally! And then the minute he starts singing, it all strips back to that rut. I was like, really?
It faked you out. You're so right. It starts with a really kind of gritty electric guitar riff. It's a little dirtier than the normal acoustic kind of bit. But then, yeah, he does scale it back in and starts to sing.
And he tries to salvage it with the chorus, but it just never reaches that height that the intro had.
No, that's true. This song is that now kind of tropey sentiment. I'm writing this song for a future partner. I think I've seen a lot of other people do that, especially in recent days. And I don't know that this version is particularly well executed. It's honestly a little bit selfish. He frames this in the lens of, I'm tired of being alone, so hurry up and get here. Which is a little bit impatient, you know, kind of naggy. I don't know if that's the right foot to start your, future relationship on.
Yeah. It's not like I just haven't met you yet, where he's just Michael Bublé singing about all the ways he's going to treat that person right. That's when it's just like, get here already, dang it.
I'm sick of this. I'm so tired of being alone. Yeah, right, exactly.
See, I made a reference to a song from another album that we've done on the podcast. It wasn't some weird pop culture reference. That makes no sense.
We'd have to dip back into the James Franco movie catalog.
Well, we could.
Could we? I don't know if we could.
I don't know. It's a challenge accepted.
I've seen approximately 2 James Franco movies.
Which 2?
So, isn't he in a Spider-Man?
Yeah, he's in all 3 of the original Spider-Man.
Oh, so I've seen 3 James Franco movies.
Have you not seen all 3 of the original Spider-Man?
No, I haven't seen Spider-Man 3.
Oh, you gotta see that one.
I know all about it.
Good. He's also in the the first Planet of the Apes movie. The Rise of the Planet of the Apes.
Not the first one.
You're right. The reboots that they did back in 2010 or whatever.
Kind of silly to call them reboots because apes don't wear boots.
He's in Why Him? That was a good one.
Never heard of it.
It's got Bryan Cranston in it.
Anyway, what were we talking about?
James Franco's movie catalog.
How is this John Mayer? Anyway, I think verse 3 is Love Song for No One's biggest redeeming or differentiating hook. Kind of what makes it stand out from all the other love song for no ones that people have written. He says, I could have met you in a sandbox, passed you on the sidewalk, I could have missed my chance and watched you walk away. You know, he kind of asks, are you somebody that's already in my life? Somebody that I missed the opportunity with, and is that chance gone for good? And I think that's a good level of depth to get to in the song, and it kind of sucks that it's only confined to this last little verse. Up next is track number 10, Back to You.
Oh, we got so many more to go.
Not really. I mean, we're on 10. There are 13.
Yeah, we're in that rut, and the ruts lasts a long time.
It's an album's worth. I like Back to You, but only for that guitar part. I really like the instrumental work on Back to You. Lyrically, it's kind of whatever.
Yeah, I feel like the guitar work on this album is gonna salvage the score a little bit for you.
It does, in actually a big way. That's most of it.
Yeah.
The guitar playing. He's a good guitar player. I won't deny that. I will admit that, yeah, his intensity level is kind of off. The production on this album is a little behind, and I think sometimes the lyrics don't necessarily hold up. A lot of times they're pretty interesting, but sometimes they just lose me, you know? But yeah, it really is the instruments that pull this one along. I think Back to You is a weaker song lyrically, especially on the verses. You know, the whole idea is even though we broke up, everything's always coming back to you. It's a little lame. I mean, listen, lyrical sample. I tried to forget you, tried to stay away, but it's too late. That's like the chorus. Come on. Your chorus has to be a little better than that, right? Back to You is a song that I do not come back to often.
Yeah, this one, listen, at this point, I only got one listen. It was very ruddy. I was done with this album by this point.
You were already checking out.
Unfortunately.
Wow. I wonder if anything in these last couple tracks reeled you back in. What about the great indoors?
I like the indoors. Think of all the exits you can have to them.
4 whole exits to the great indoors. Yeah, I'm sure. But you know what? This song is all about how he's not going to use any of those 4 exits. He just wants to stay inside with the person he loves. You know, sometimes the world is big and cold and unforgiving, and John Mayer counters this by illustrating the indoors in a unique way, with the shadows playing in the lamplight, posters taking the walls away. It's very unconfined and free-spirited, despite taking place in a confined space. He talks about how the TV is a magic window that can transport you anywhere, and it kind of feels like someone from the 1920s looking at a TV for the first time. It just doesn't land right. It doesn't sit right with me. Like, okay, I know, you're inside. Cool, dude. And he doesn't even make it sound all that great, I'll be honest.
Yeah, I feel like I could do a way better job of selling the great indoors.
Yeah, it just sounds like an okay indoors.
Yeah, mediocre at best indoors.
Well, that's not as snappy of a song title, but yeah, I agree.
Added to Connor's Hippin' and Hoppin' album ideas.
Mediocre at best indoors. Do you ever have those days where you just feel like you're not yourself?
Every time we record one of these podcasts.
Yeah, sometimes in the middle there, you just kind of lose yourself.
Yeah, in the middle. While you're playing Factor Spin, I kind of lose myself.
Interesting. Well,
waiting in the void.
Well, that's kind of what this next song is about. Track 12 is Not Myself. It's kind of a song of insecurity. He's talking to his partner and asking, are you going to love me on my worst days, even when I'm not acting like myself? This is another song where the lyrics are kind of lackluster again. It's a short song lyrically, but I don't think the lyrics are full enough to make any kind of an impact.
Yeah, and when the lyrics are the only thing salvaging this album for me, when they get lackluster, that's not good.
No, the lifeline keeping you alive is fading fast when the lyrics start to go.
Yeah.
There is one exception, I think. I really like, suppose I said colors change for no good reason, and words will go from poetry to prose in verse 2. I think that's an okay lyric. Talking about, sometimes things just happen. I can't explain it. Are you prepared to, sit with me and work with me through those times? It's very interesting. But mostly, I'm kind of meh on Not Myself.
I agree.
Yeah, and we close with the album's longest track, the 5-minute and 21-second St. Patrick's Day. It's all about wanting to find love for the holidays, but also knowing that it's probably just something fleeting, and it will be gone by St. Patrick's Day. Because, I guess that's the last holiday on the, big holidays calendar. But he seems to think that this relationship is safe until then because nobody wants to be alone at Christmas. Nobody wants to be alone at Thanksgiving. Not in that order. Nobody wants to be alone on New Year's.
Yeah, and then, then you got the New Year's, and then that bleeds into Valentine's Day, and you can't break up with somebody for that.
You skipped over, and President's Day. Come on.
Yep.
No one can be alone on President's Day.
You got that little bit of window between President's Day and Easter.
Yeah, that's when the breakups happen. St. Patrick's Day, right in the middle. It's an interesting concept, and I think it's kind of clever. It's a clever perspective, and I don't know if I've ever thought of relationships like that, I guess. Is that a thing people do?
Of what?
Of just being, like, for the holidays? I don't know, is that a thing people do?
I think it's less of it being, like, for the holidays and more, the relationship you're in. You've already basically made the decision, it's over, but you're in that weird period where it's gonna be devastating to the person if you end it, and so you kind of coast through it until you get past the holidays.
Okay.
Like you're 6 months into the relationship, you just met the family at Thanksgiving or whatever, and then you're just kind of like not into it anymore, but you're like, but I just met the family and Christmas is coming up, and then like January hits and it's like that's their birthday and you can't do it then because then you look like a monster. So it's like it's that kind of thing.
That was r/suspiciously specific.
Oh, don't worry, no, that's never happened with me. I've never had a relationship last that long. So
okay, well, what you need to do we're coming up on Thanksgiving, so like
yeah, I need to find one.
Yeah, hurry up now, and then you'll be good till St. Patrick's Day. You'll be trapped.
How many months is that?
A couple.
Let's just say November, December, January, February. Nope, my longest is 6 months, so that's still not good enough.
Oh, you should have started sooner.
I really should have.
Make up a new holiday. Put a new holiday between St. Patrick's Day and like 4th of July.
That doesn't what? That doesn't get me anything.
It gets you another holiday.
The problem is that St. Patrick's Day isn't good enough. It needs to be something like right next to St. Patrick's Day.
Okay. Mixtaper Day.
Mixtaper Day. When would Mixtaper Day be?
I don't know, but I'm sorry I suggested it.
Let us know on social media, in the comments, whatever. Anywhere you can get a hold of us. Tell us when you think Mixtaper Day should be, and we'll celebrate it next year.
Yeah. I really like the closing lyric, though. I will say that's kind of a redeeming part of the song. He says, "If our always is all that we gave, and we someday take that away, it'll be all right if it was just until St. Patrick's Day." It's kind of resigning yourself to the fact that everything is temporary and impermanent, and just living in the moment. It's okay. Smile because it happened. Don't cry because it's over.
Or do.
Whatever you want. It's St. Patrick's Day. And that's it's the album, pretty much. 13 tracks right there.
Indeed.
We pretty much covered a lot of things that I had to say. So let's get into Final Spin and talk about scores. I like how sometimes you do that and sometimes you don't.
Gotta keep you guessing.
Like you never know. Yeah, keep you on your toes. Music on this album is almost certainly its strongest point. I scored it second highest, but I think the music is the strongest element to this album. I like this jazz and blues infused pop. I like the acoustic kind of sound, and he is a great guitar player, so music, I'm giving an 88. Lyrics are okay. There are times when my patience with them starts to wear a little thin, but sometimes, especially early on in this album, before you check out of it, great lyrics. I love stuff like City Love, Why Georgia, Neon, stuff that uses these really cool metaphors to tell pretty engaging stories. The back half of the album does start to sag a little bit. Love Song for No One, great indoors, not myself. I'm less than lukewarm on, but I'm giving lyrics an 85 overall. Instruments and production, boy, it is just an intensity issue for me. This album really does flatline, and it's that way the whole way through. The parts where you think he's gonna change it is he's just baited you. It's just a fake out. I'm giving instruments and production a 77, and overall vibe, this album is nothing if not consistent. I think it's cool to see where John Mayer starts, and I think it's interesting if you're familiar with the music that influenced him, you can find places where that shines through, and that's really cool. It's a quaint little album, and to me, this really feels like 2001. I think it does feel a little dated in kind of a bad way, but it's not awful, I'm giving the overall vibe a 90.
Oh, wow, okay, that's surprisingly high.
It is surprisingly high, but I don't know. There's not really much on this album that breaks the vibe. I feel like once you check in, you're kind of on for the ride till the end of it. There's nothing that really doesn't fit like a glove into this 13-track set.
That's true.
It's a little long and a little draggy, but, if this is what you like, it is perfect. And that puts the overall score at an 87.4, landing it at number 184. And it maybe is higher than it should be.
Yeah.
I admit. I think the music is just too good.
Sometimes we disagree, right, on an album, on where it should be score-wise. But, I think that's too high for you. Regardless of my feelings on it, I think that's that's higher than I would have anticipated you giving it.
I mean, that's fair. I'm just enamored by guitar players, I think. I think
Yeah.
this album wows me a lot in that department. And so the rest of it, I'm maybe a little more lenient towards.
Yeah.
My playlist pick is probably going to be Why Georgia.
Oh, wow, okay.
Is that a surprise to you?
I guess that is the one you said had the best guitar playing, wasn't it?
I really like it, yeah.
Fair enough. For me, I think it's pretty obvious I was not enamored by this album or his guitar playing.
No, you were de-enamored.
I was checked out by the latter third of the album. My top 3 in album order: My Stupid Mouth,
Oh, okay. Wow.
Your Body is a Wonderland,
Thank you.
City Love, and 3x5.
What? It's an awful picture size.
It is, but it's a mediocre at best song.
Is 3x5 your honorable mention?
It is. It is my honorable
Okay.
mention.
It doesn't deserve to be in the top 3, I don't think.
No, it does not, but it gets the honorable mention.
I'm surprised you skipped over No Such Thing in Why Georgia.
Yeah, I don't know. For me, the way I kind of did it was I liked My Stupid... So Your Body is a Wonderland, obviously, like in my opinion, like the best song on the album, and probably my playlist pick. I think I agree
Okay.
with the majority of fans on that being the best song on the album. My Stupid Mouth was kind of the best of the first third, and then City Love, woke me back up, and then 3x5 also kind of had that. It was a little different with the drums and stuff. So that's kind of how those two got in.
Fair enough.
But I do think the first third of the album, the No Such Thing through Your Body is a Wonderland, those 4 songs are the best section of the album.
I don't know. I'd extend it to City Love personally, but yeah.
Yeah, but you got Neon sitting in there is the problem for me.
I like Neon.
I know you do, but other Neon is better.
That's comparative.
As for my playlist pick, like I said, I think it's going to be Your Body is a Wonderland.
Your playlist picks a Wonderland.
And my score, drum roll please.
I'm gonna guess.
Oh, go ahead, take a guess.
Okay, I'm gonna guess 5 above Pixie Queen.
5 above Pixie Queen. Wrong.
Wow. Okay.
This one, in a shocking turn of events, doesn't happen very often,
Yeah.
needs to take notes from Kanye West because this is getting a 4. It's below My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy on my list.
So top of the 4s.
No, it's going between America and Cheap Thrills.
Okay.
So
wow.
beats Janice, doesn't beat 30 Seconds to Mars.
That is sad. As someone who has Janice beating 30 Seconds to Mars by a long shot. Oh, that one hurts. Just take another little piece of her heart.
And I think, fittingly enough, since the score is a 4, I'm going to give this one 4 exits from the great indoors.
Four
4 great
more
indoors.
exits.
4 more exits to the great indoors.
Well, perfect. You just want to get out, I see.
Get out of this album, yep.
That's only your 5th score lower than a 5.
Indeed.
In all these 71 episodes, you've only dipped below a 5 4 times.
Now 5.
Now 5, yeah.
So I said it doesn't happen often that somebody needs to take notes from Kanye.
Well, Kanye took notes from John Mayer, so maybe that's where everything went wrong.
I've talked about in the past how I think I would have given Kanye a lower score than a 5 if it had
That's
snuck
true.
in episode 3. But I still think everything that's below Kanye would stay below Kanye. So it's just their scores would also go down. You know what I mean?
Oh my gosh.
Like I think everything that's below Kanye deserves to be below Kanye.
Fair enough.
But yeah, we're going with 4.
All right. We've got a fun thing this week. We have a fan factor spin.
Oh, yes, that's right. That's a new thing we're doing. This is our second one. We had one way back.
Yeah, we did. We did one on our year anniversary.
Yeah.
The Radiohead episode.
We need more of them. I love these.
I like them a lot too. You can email it to us. You can get in touch via the website. You can find a way to send us 2 audio clips. The first one should be the fact as you present it.
The supposedly true fact.
The alleged fact about any artist we've talked about.
Any information that you think that we need.
Yeah, and the second clip should be the answer, whether it's a fact or a spin and why. So, that said, we've got one this week. I believe it's about Ice 9 Kills from Mixtober.
Ooh.
Yes.
Should we get the mixtaper in here?
No, he doesn't have any part of this.
Oh, okay.
And I will, I suppose, begrudgingly remind you that our scores are individual this time. And last time we played our fact about Lil Nas X, you got it right, and I got it wrong. So without further ado, let's listen to this week's Ice 9 Kills Fan Factor Spin by Felix from Ohio.
Fact or spin? Ice 9 Kills is banned from setting foot on any kind of Disney-owned property. Back in August of 2019, Ice 9 Kills was on tour with a fellow band, falling in reverse, and they were set to perform at the House of Blues in Disney Springs in Orlando, Florida. Disney then promptly took them off of that date, and when they were asked why, they said that Disney banned them from performing that night because they were deemed too evil for children.
What?
Right?
And not only were they banned from performing that night, but they were no longer allowed to step foot on any kind of Disney-owned property, meaning they couldn't go to Disney World or anything of the sort.
No way.
Dang. Interesting.
Wow. So Ice Nine Kills is banned from Disney everywhere.
Everywhere.
For apparently no reason. I don't know if that means they're just
Just for being
too much for kids.
too evil for children.
Yeah. The happiest place on earth will have none of that.
Kind of ironic.
Wow. So I wonder if they showed up individually, if they could go.
Oh.
Or if it's just the band.
I mean, they're still a member of Ice Nine Kills. I don't know. I think we kind of got like a
Beach Boys situation here.
Yeah, we got a Beach Boys situation going on here. What's interesting to me about this is I don't know how tricky our fans are going to be to us. Because I could totally see the being banned from performing at Disney and any Disney properties, but the being like not allowed to come to Disney.
Yeah, that's hard.
That's where it's like, ooh, is that where they've now, pulled a mixtaper and added some spin to a true fact?
I don't know. I really don't know. I am leaning towards this being a spin, actually.
Really?
I think I am, and I think it's for exactly the reasons that you just said.
Because I said all that, but I was about to say, with all that said, I think I'm going to go with fact.
Well, I do think being banned from performing is one thing. But do they just ban people for being evil? I mean, are other people banned from Disney for just being evil?
I don't know. I'm going to definitely look that up if after this, though, if this is true.
That seems unlikely because they didn't do anything. They didn't violate any rules.
If this is true, I think the mixtaper has a new go-to thing to check when
To see if he's banned from Disney. I guess we'll have to wait and see. I'm going to lock in that this one's probably a spin.
Well, I'll give you the chance to tie it up then by going fact.
No, what that really does is just give you the chance to get another point.
Well, as I said, either I extend my lead or we tie it up. I'm just saying, I'm ahead, so I could just always pick the same as you and never lose.
Okay, fair enough.
So,
well, let's see what we've got. Let's
All
listen
right.
to the answer.
This is a true fact.
yes!
Not only were they taken off of the program for that night at the House of Blues, they were indeed banned from ever stepping foot on Disney-owned property afterwards. And luckily, the guys took it in stride. They even poked fun at it by releasing some merch that was only available for a month, where they took Disney characters and dressed them up as horror movie characters, such as Mickey Mouse as Freddy Krueger, there was Goofy as Leatherface, Minnie Mouse as Carrie, and so on and so forth.
Wow.
What?
And not only could you find it through their regular merch site, they even got their own website called tooevilforchildren.com where you could find the merch as well. At least they got some fun out of it, right?
That feels like they got a cease and desist from the mouse.
Yeah,
Wow. I can't believe that.
that's awesome.
Disney just bans people for being evil, I guess.
I guess.
I can't believe it.
The mixtaper
What?
has a new goal to get banned from Disney.
Disney makes villains.
Yeah.
What? I don't understand.
And they're all banned.
Maleficent, get out. But you can't do anything to get banned from Disney. You just have to be evil enough.
Well, yeah, that's he's got his doctorate in evil, so
I see. Yeah.
he now wants to get on this on the no-fly list at Disney.
Right. Wow. I did not see that coming.
But with that, I am 2-0, and you are 0-2 on Fan Factor Spin. Mixtaper
Wow.
needs to take notes from the fans.
I guess. Wow, that surprises me. Genuinely, that is wild. Well, I guess that's going to do it for this episode. Tune in next week for another exciting round of Spin It, more Factor Spin facts, and hey, remember...
Follow us on social media.
Yes.
I'm not going to pretend to try to get them right.
Okay. Yeah, you can check out our socials. We are on Instagram at SpinItPodOfficial, on Twitter at SpinItPod, and on the web at www.spinitpod.com.
The Mixtaper told me to remind everybody that you can go follow him on Twitter at @_Mixtaper.
Bravo, good job.
I know what it is. He doesn't know what it is.
That's right, that's right. And we'll see you next week for another fun episode of Spin It. Thanks for tuning in. We really appreciate it. Have a great week, and until next time, keep spinning.
Keep spinning. I feel like Pickle King is another one of those podcast highlights that's just gonna be something that I always look back on fondly.
Yeah, that was an instant classic kind of moment.
Pickle King! Oh, there's pickle milk out there.
What?
Yeah, have you heard of that, where it's like pickle flavored milk?
That's gross.
Right, you can combine 2 spinach bits into one here. Ooh, here's a recipe for pickle milk.
Did we get so caught up in what we could do that we never stopped to think about whether we should?
In a crock pot or slow cooker, add chicken or vegetable broth, dill pickle juice, chopped dill pickles,
Okay.
cubed potatoes, onion, celery, and carrots.
Nope. Don't tell people our secrets.
Add salt, pepper, and sugar to taste. It's called Pilk Dill Pickle Milk Recipe.
You're making pilk in a crock pot?
So that's what it says.
We've gone too far. Not even the Pickle King would drink that.
You don't know what he hasn't tried.